Federal government approves 60 billion naira to boost rice production. President Buhari meets religious leaders, restates commitment to credible elections.
There is this general misconception that once there is security provision, that you can disburse the security fund, you can use it to solve your own personal problem. That general misconception has been addressed in this court.
Court upholds conviction of 2 former governors. Good evening and a warm welcome to NTA Network News. I am Jumwa Yusuf. Reading with me tonight is Elizabeth Omorie in Lagos and Salamatu Umar Abdullahi in Sokoto. President Muhammadu Buhari has restated that his vision and objective for a greater Nigeria are very clear, and the governing APC is on course towards achieving them. This was while receiving the leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria, led by its president, Reverend Simon Oyokunle, on a courtesy visit. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
We have not ceased from praying for Mr. President.
This is not the first time the leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, is visiting President Muhammadu Buhari. What makes the latest engagement different, however, is that the association has more than ever come out clearly to appreciate the giant strides recorded by the president in critical economic sectors.
We are aware of the job opportunities being created through the office of the Vice President. This initiative has reduced the number of jobless teeming youths, especially graduates in the country. Another area where your leadership deserves accolades is the anti-graft war that has led to the recovery of huge sums of money from those who pilfered our commonwealth. It is reprehensible that elected officials have seized opportunities in being public office to loot the treasury. Corruption is a cancer in our nation, which all of us must join hands together to exterminate before it exterminates us.
The CAN leadership also applauded the government's initiatives towards revamping the economy and stemming the tide of unemployment, as well as putting an end to the challenges of security.
Boko Haram terrorists are still attacking some soft targets. However, their audacity of hoisting flags where they had captured has become history. We commend Your Excellency over your determination, commitment, and courage in bringing out the best out of our military.
CAN, however, called on the president to ensure that security agencies are non-partisan in the 2019 elections, restore peace in the troubles posed, especially in Plateau State, ensure that Nigeria does not go back into recession, resolve the minimum wage issue, and tax law enforcement agencies to ensure the release of Leah Sharibu and the others in Boko Haram captivity. President Muhammadu Buhari, who appreciated CAN for its show of support and understanding, promised to sustain efforts at fulfilling electoral promises of securing the country, fighting corruption, and resuscitating the economy. He said the fight against corruption, for instance, takes longer time to accomplish, especially with the need to adhere to the rule of law.
For your information, there are still corruption cases since Obasanjo's time in our courts. So please use your influence, speak to our police and the judiciary to please help us to get rid of irresponsible Nigerian leadership. Those that have been found to have abused trust, they will be fully investigated and taken to court.
Responding to the request of CAN for an overhaul of the intelligence gathering system, President Buhari said the burden of intelligence gathering involves everyone, as bandits who are operating in various communities live among the people.
I was very clear about my objective in trying to see what I can do for our dear country. I'm trying to see what I can do with the Nigeria police, especially to make sure that They accept their role as a frontline defense against criminality across the society.
The president told the visitors that as victim of fraudulent elections and beneficiary of a credible one, he is committed to ensuring that votes count in 2019. On farmers' hardest clashes, President Buhari said the government is working hard towards finding lasting solutions. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Still on the presidency, President Muhammadu Buhari has restated his determination to lay a solid foundation for free, fair and credible elections in 2019 as electioneering campaign begins next week. The president was speaking at an audience with imams and senior Islamic scholars from the 36 states of the Federation who paid him a solidarity visit. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari said a number of measures put in place by his administration have resulted in gradual improvement of elections as in Edo, Anambra, Ekiti and Osun states. The outcome, he said, was a clear departure from what he described as dismal and unacceptable levels witnessed in Rivers and Kogi states.
And keep on pressurizing, especially the police and law enforcement agents, to make sure that next election is free and fair, next series of elections. We'll try and do that.
The president thanked the Muslim religious leaders for recognizing the various achievements recorded by his administration, especially in fighting corruption, diversification of the economy, and dealing with insecurity.
Community leaders to live to their responsibilities of identifying criminals. I know the problem with the police is genuine. People are afraid if they report, they will be reported to the crooks by the police. That is an old thing and is genuine, but people must have the courage. I assure you that I will continue to do my best. And I was encouraged to know, unsolicited, I was told, that people leave white-collar job to go back and get land and start farming. Millions of people are no longer unemployed. They found respect in going back to the land. So we are going to do a lot more for agriculture.
Leader of the delegation, Dr. Khalid Aliyu, who is the Secretary General of the Jamaatul Nasr al-Islam, had lavishly praised the president's achievements in key areas of his campaign in 2015.
A lot of your promises have been fulfilled, especially in the area of agriculture. It seems there is a calculated sabotage on this breakthrough Mr. President has done in this country of going back to the land. Farmers are being chased away from their own lands by those who want to sabotage the revamping of the economy. They want to cause hunger, famine, and starvation in this country by force. But inshallah, they will not succeed.
Dr. Aliyu, on behalf of the imams and the scholars, takes pride in the leadership qualities of the president, especially his disposition to justice, fairness, and equity in the discharge of his responsibilities.
Not only in Nigeria, the whole world testifies to this. Trustworthiness, truthfulness, and transparency. Ya Allah, will ask you, today is Friday. Grant Mr. President a comeback again. Amen. And may Allah continue to see you through.
During the visit, special prayers were offered for the nation and its leaders. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And now to food security. A meeting of the National Council of Food Security has ended with far-reaching measures aimed at making agriculture a well-paying business for enhanced economic fortunes. 60 billion naira has already been approved to support the rice industry as a deliberate attempt to bring down the price of the commodity in the country. Again, Adamu Sambu has details.
The meeting of the National Council on Food Security, presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari, thoroughly analyzed the various policy measures put in place by government towards boosting agriculture and came to the conclusion that everything is on course towards achieving food security. Already, the Council has announced a significant decline in foreign exchange expenditure on food items in the last 5 years. That notwithstanding, the Council expressed the belief that for sustainable growth and development in the sector, more still needs to be done in the agricultural value chain. Consequently, the Council has suggested that NPK fertilizer 15-15-15 be banned, while the Bank of Agriculture be restructured in the interests of Nigerian farmers.
After the restructuring, farmers are going to be able to buy shares in the bank. So eventually it will become the farmers' bank. And we hope in the process that we can bring down interest rates to something reasonable, maybe 5%, maybe a little higher, so that agriculture can become more attractive and people can raise capital to invest in agriculture.
We discussed the flooding that affected so many states in the country, and the President is invited to give approval for interventions that will benefit farmers, fishermen, and those in the livestock sector.
Governor of Kebbi State, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, brought members up to speed on the recent report by the U.S. Department of Agriculture suggesting that Nigeria has been massively importing rice.
And we informed the Council that contact has been made. U.S. authorities responded by saying that their assessment was based on satellite imaging of flooded areas and consideration that we are about to enter the electioneering period, and that demand for rice by politicians or for political purposes will increase. And thirdly, that most of West Africa depend on Nigeria, so because of our flooding, they suggested, they concluded based on those set of assumptions that Nigeria will import more. But certainly that is an erroneous picture, but because even in spite of the flooding, the upland rice production has been quite strong this year.
The National Food Security Council has also taken measures towards ending the farmers' herders' conflicts in parts of the country through what it called a robust program of action. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
The federal government has declared Tuesday, 20th November 2018 as public holiday to mark the Eid al-Maulid celebration. Minister of Interior, Lieutenant General Abdurrahman Dambazo, who made the declaration, called on Muslim faithful to align themselves with the Prophet's teaching, which border on piety, charity, tolerance, and peaceful coexistence, among others, while calling on all Nigerians to uphold these virtues with a view to overcoming the current national challenges facing the country. General Dambazo assured that the federal government remains committed to the unity of the country and ensuring that the forthcoming general elections are credible, free and fair. In another development, President Muhammadu Buhari has confirmed the appointment of chief executive officers and executive directors of federal agencies. Some of the appointees include Dr. Folashorun Adebisi Shonobi, Deputy Governor, Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Clement Oyebo Nze, Director General, Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, Ambassador A. Abdul Jalil Suleiman, Director General, Directorate of Technical Cooperation in Africa. In all, the appointees are 19, out of which 2 appointments were renewed. They are Professor Okechukwu Ukoma, Director General, National Center for Technology Management, and Professor Victor Adebayo Adetiloye, Chief Medical Director of Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital, Ile-Ife. The President enjoins the new appointees to serve the nation with all sense of responsibility, honesty, diligence, and promote good governance, while urging them to bring their wealth of experience to bear in the discharge of their duties. You are watching NTA Network News. We take a break to bring you some messages. Stay with us.
Hello.
Hi, Jenny.
Can you supply 1,000 bottles of juice by noon?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, bye.
Hello?
One day, I go any store and say I want everything.
Jenny. Auntie, please, I need a loan.
One day, anything I want,
hurry up.
Get it times 2. Someday, I'll be living.
Hello?
Clean that up. Because I don't get the money, you downgrade me. Sorry, me,
Your order is on the way.
Are you an entrepreneur looking for financing to grow a business? I have good news for you. Development Bank of Nigeria now provides sustainable financing through commercial banks, microfinance banks, and other financial institutions with repayment terms of up to 10 years. Please do remember, paying back your loan in good time will give you access to more loans.
Development Bank of Nigeria, financing sustainable growth.
The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, is pleased to inform the general public that the maiden edition of the Nigerian Air Force International Air Power Seminar 2018 will take place at the Nigerian Air Force Officers Mess and Suites, Kado, Abuja, from the 19th to the 21st of November 2018. Theme: Air Power in Irregular Warfare, a framework for understanding and responding. The seminar will provide a forum for experienced practitioners of air power across the globe to interact with air power practitioners in the Nigerian Air Force. Special guest of honor, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. The seminar will also feature cultural night and historical photo gallery. Attendance is strictly by invitation. Nigerian Air Force, willing, able, and...
I am a caregiver, a slayer,
Give them.
a boss lady, a foodie. I am the chief quality inspector and chief organizer. And when I'm cooking with my Maggie Star, I become a kitchen grand master.
Every day, you choose to make the difference. That's why you choose Maggie Star, made from natural soya beans and other carefully selected ingredients to help you cook the difference.
I am the chief enjoyment officer, and I'm the magnet that brings my family together. Need I say more? But best of all, I love what I do.
With Maggie, cook the difference.
As the number of people with the bond they reduce, now so the money with them they get to spend they increase. Enough proof don't they to show say countries where them families they bond, the number of people where they fit take care of, the stress to take care of the children no they plenty at all for the family. If families fit they enjoy this kind of benefit of expenses we know they too much. You fit imagine how it go fit help boost country economy like Nigeria own. As leader way be, the solution they your hand. And what you need to do now to take action now. All we lawmakers and everybody with their power and government must make sure say them put enough money down. We go make sure say childbirth spacing where plenty people sabi as family planning services full everywhere. Our pastors, imam, and traditional leaders suppose open mouth tell them people about the better thing where child spacing they do. This work, now our handy day. We get the full responsibility to do them. We must join hand and get it together. Make our future for bright. Now Federal Ministry of Health, they bring you this message.
Everybody dance now.
We are the strongest, no challenge can stop us, oh Lord, and we are the brightest, no darkness can blind us. We are the strongest.
Malta Guinness is packed with big vitamins to fuel your greatness.
Nigeria, a land of promise, land of potential, rich in oil, arable land, and solid minerals. Yet, hunger, joblessness, homelessness, and poverty are widespread. Over the years, Nigeria has suffered from hospitals without drugs, schools without teachers, and a huge infrastructure deficit. Clearly, we are yet to reach our full potential. And one of the reasons is because people choose bad leaders. Some even sell their conscience for a few thousand naira for 2019 elections. Don't sell your vote. Don't sell your future. Don't buy the people's lives. Vote selling is a crime against yourself. You will spend the next 4 years paying for it. Vote buying is against the law. Politicians, stop buying votes. People, stop selling your future. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
Sensitivity is a short pain which occurs when teeth are exposed to hot, cold, or acidic things. Cold water from the fridge would trigger off sensitivity. A lot of people would accept anyway and just grin and bear the pain. What I would say to the patient is switch to Sensodyne, make it your daily toothpaste. Over a period of time would reduce to sensitivity. And a lot of them come back to thank me, to say that, wow, it's just something so simple. It adds the sparkle back into their life.
Welcome back. It's nice to know you're still there. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the federal government's plan for human capital development will address the challenges associated with a growing population and new technologies. Professor Osinbajo was speaking at the 50th anniversary celebration and annual conference of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, where he re-echoed the growing apprehension of redundancy of many jobs as robots and artificial intelligence perform the same functions far more effectively and cheaper. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
It appears things will never be the same again with the nation's workforce, says Vice President Yemi Osinbajo.
Already, we're contending with how technology is redefining the structure of industry and commerce and the skills required to function in them.
He says there is no question at all that the most important resource of the nation is the people.
The future, I must say, is excitingly challenging, but we're all confident that the talents in this room and in our nation can and are surely well able to surmount these challenges and to be at the forefront, at the cutting edge of the innovation and the thoughtfulness that will go into shaping the future of human resource management and development.
The new technologies, he says, clearly show that anyone in the coming generation will be left behind if they are not at the cutting edge of technology. In the new curriculum, he says a lot of attention is focused on science, technology, engineering, and maths. Similar attention, he says, is on healthcare, and government is focusing on national health insurance as a way of funding health.
And CIPM at 50.
In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
And now to legal matters. The Abuja Division of the Court of Appeal has upheld the conviction of former governors of Taraba and Plateau States on charges of corruption. Aliu Tukur has the report.
Former Governor of Taraba State, Reverend Jolie Nyame and Joshua Darie of Plateau State are two men with a few things in common. Both are former governors who early this year were convicted on charges of corruption and sentenced to 14 years each. Convicted by the same FCT High Court, presided over by Justice Adebukola Banjoko for the same offences: criminal misappropriation of public funds and breach of public trust. But this partnership was altered when both of them appealed the judgment of the trial court. On the part of Joshua Darie, the appellate court, in a judgment delivered by Justice Stephen Ada, reduced his sentence from 14 to 10 years. This, according to the court, is not because the conviction of the FCT High Court was wrong, but because Joshua Darie is a first-time offender. Therefore, the Court of Appeal thinks he should not be given the maximum sentence, which is in line with Section 315 of the Penal Code. But for Reverend Jolie Nyame, it is a different scenario. The appellate court reduced his sentence from 14 to 12 years and hit him with a fine of 495 million naira. The Court of Appeal, in its judgment delivered by Justice Emmanuel Ajim, noted that Nyame, in his statement, which was tendered before the trial court as exhibit, admitted to collecting gratification and misappropriating the state security vote.
There is this general misconception that once there is security provision, that you can disburse the security fund, you can use it to solve your own personal problem. That general misconception has been addressed in this court because it means now that security funds are accountable and you must give account for it.
My take is on security vote, there was no argument advanced before this as to whether it is constitutional or constitutional to look into it. No argument whatsoever was advanced. So, and coming the way it has come today, I need to see the full judgment, to read it carefully. Whether it will form part of the ratio of the case, I cannot say right now.
Counsel to both parties say they will study the judgment and advise their clients on what to do next. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
And security is next. In continuation of Operation Green Sweep, the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Doli has destroyed a Boko Haram terrorist camp at Buk along Ajigin Talara Buk axis close to Alagano village in Borno State. Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commando Ibukule Adaramola, says the operation was conducted after an intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance mission revealed new camp structures, including a suspected Boko Haram Tactical Command Control Center. An Alpha Jet aircraft and 2 Mi-35 attack helicopters were detailed to attack the camp, inflicting significant damage to the C2 center. The Nigerian Air Force says it will continue to strengthen the synergy with ground forces towards sustaining the tempo of operations cleared towards destroying the remnants of the terrorists in Borno State. Sanitation and hygiene sector, Nigeria has launched the national campaign against open defecation in the country. Water Resources Minister Suleiman Adamu, who launched the campaign at the 25th regular meeting of the National Council on Water Resources in Abuja, said wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, will be a major champion of the campaign. Musbah and Wahab reports.
It has taken less than a week for the state of emergency declared by President Muhammadu Buhari in water, sanitation and hygiene wash sector to start manifesting. Nigeria has this Thursday taken another step towards achieving the objectives of the action plan. Seated here as a water family, and central to them is how to get increased investment for accelerated coverage of water supply and sanitation. Sadly, Nigeria now stands the risk of becoming the #1 country in open defecation practice by 2019, when India, currently the highest, would have exited the position. But here is the good news. In addition to the highest political will demonstrated by the president, Water Resources Minister says 22 state governments in the country have endorsed the Partnership for Expanded Water Supply, Sanitation and Hygiene, PWASH, a program for an aggressive drive in the sector.
The action plan presents a new federal-state partnership for wash sector development, one in which the states maintain their full sector development prerogatives while benefiting from an empowering federal arrangement for effective guidance.
The minister said more than 2.6 billion naira has been expended from 2015 to date on rural water supply, while over 1 million people have been provided with access to improved water supply. While development partners promise continuous support to Nigeria in this sector, participants say improved partnership is required for Nigeria to attain various targets in the sector.
The challenges of achieving this sustainable development goal can only be solved if we work together.
Despite the political development, the need for everybody to come together and to close our gaps to ensure the national water bill becomes a reality.
In addition to water and sanitation-related targets under the SDGs, Nigeria has set 2025 to end open defecation. In Abuja, Musbah and Wahab, NT News.
Thank you, Musbao. Now, the Federal Teaching Hospital Gombe has since its establishment been one of the referral health facilities in the Northeast. Emmanuel Akile reports on the attention the hospital is receiving in recent times as the federal government places high premium on the health sector.
Commissioned in the year 2000, the hospital began as a federal medical center until in 2014, when it was upgraded to Federal Teaching Hospital. Governments come and go, and most of the hospital's projects either remain on paper or uncompleted. However, recently, the facility has been able to complete some of its projects, including the new ophthalmology complex, expansion of the accident and emergency unit, as well as the construction of the isolation section.
The doctors that I know before, now they are almost consultants. So you see there is an improvement.
The hospital is very, very good, and they are trying their best. Their staff here, they are very friendly, they love us.
Approval of the appointment of Dr. Yahaya Saidu Alkali as the new Chief Medical Director, CMD, by President Muhammadu Buhari now reposts more responsibility on the hospital management to consolidate on the achievements of Dr. Abubakar Saidu, the immediate past CMD.
The deception of this administration
Muhammadu Buhari's administration. We got our 2017 capital budget 100%, and we did implementation to 100% too.
Beside the health programs of the hospital, which provide health care to patients beyond the Northeast region, the facility has become a center of attraction to health organizations within and outside the country who wish to render humanitarian health services to Nigerians. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
And now politics. Senator Hope Uzodinma has urged supporters of the All Progressive Congress in Imo State not to relent in their efforts to ensure victory for the party at all levels in the 2019 general elections. Addressing party supporters in Owerri, Senator Uzodinma said the re-election of President Buhari has become imperative for continuity and good governance. Emmanuel Izuze has the details.
Senator Hope Uzodinma, on arrival at Sam Mbakwe Cargo Airport with his entourage, was given a rousing welcome by APC supporters in Imo State. Senator Hope and his supporters, who were visibly happy, proceeded to his campaign office at Okigwe Road, where he promised to ensure socio-political and economic liberation of Imo people.
We will have a functional and efficient House of Assembly. We will have a government of prosperity. We have done it before, and we will do it again.
The Imo APC governorship candidate was later received and prayed for by the Imo traditional rulers and clergymen. He expressed optimism that he will address plight of workers and revive cultural institutions in the state if elected into power come 2019 general elections.
The government will begin to function. The civil service will function. The pension scheme will work.
Senator Uzodinma further commended President Muhammad Buhari and the National Working Committee of APC, led by Comrade Adams Oshomole, for their pragmatic leadership in ensuring internal democracy and justice in the party. In Owerri, Emmanuel Nwiji, NTA News.
Former National President of Radio, Television and Theatre Workers Union of Nigeria, RATAU, Dr. Yemisi Bamboshi, has been sworn in as Permanent Secretary in Ogun State Civil Service by Governor Abikunle Amosun. The former union leader is rewarded for his hard work, dedication and commitment to service of the state as he takes oath of office and allegiance and secrecy on the eve of his retirement. Lekan Ambode reports.
My name is Yemisi Bamboshe, the president of RATAU. Let me assure you of something.
Prior to joining the core civil service of Ogun State, former national president of RATAU, Dr. Yemisi Bamboshe, had paid his dues in service to humanity through activism mixed with professionalism. As a junior leader, he fought for the cause of workers in radio, television, and the arts profession in Nigeria. His hard work did not go unnoticed as the governor of Ogun State appointed him permanent secretary on the eve of his retirement.
So help me God.
When you behave well, when you work well, when you serve your people diligently, there's always a reward for it. And we're just using you as a point of reverence and contact to say that when you do certain things, then there will be reward for you.
An elated Bamboshi, a PhD holder, speaks to NTA News.
This is beyond my own expectation. I never thought it, and God has made it to come to pass. So I will continue to give glory unto him. But younger ones should work very hard and don't bother whether people say you are doing it too much. There is nothing that you can do that is too much. Even if people are not there rewarding you, the Almighty God is there looking at you, and at the appropriate time, He will reward you.
Born on the 27th February 1960, Yemisi Bamboshe joined the service of the state-owned television outfit OGTV as production assistant and rose through the ranks to the position of assistant general manager before the transfer of his record of service to the core civil service in the state. In Abeokuta, Lekan Agbonde, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. It's now time to join Elizabeth in our Lagos Network studio for more reports. Hello.
It's nice to see Jumai, and thanks for joining us in Lagos. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has advised stakeholders in governance, activists and individuals to work towards simplifying the process of child adoption in Nigeria, as this would enable aspiring parents to adopt orphans. He said at this at the second annual conference of the Heritage Adoption Support and Advocacy Group in commemoration of the 2018 World Adoption Day in Lagos. Tunde Saiki has details.
Child adoption is a global practice that connects children without parents with couples or individuals who legally accept them as their own. Sensitizing the public on this necessity is why the United Nations, through a resolution, adopted a date to celebrate and create awareness on the need for child adoption. Here in Nigeria, stakeholders in adoption support initiative organized a conference where ways of improving the well-being of vulnerable children can be addressed. The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, revealed his empathy for homeless children wandering the streets uncared for when there are homes for them to live a decent life. He said with child adoption in place, such children will be given parental affection if adoption process is made easier.
So I think there's a need for us to find, where that convergence lies. Because clearly, there are so many little children in need of the love and care of parents who want to care for them and who can actually care for them. But I think the second thing really is to really look at how to simplify the processes. How do we simplify these processes?
A panel discussion by stakeholders examined the challenges of stigmatization, infertility, and legal framework as surmountable for easier adoption process in Nigeria. At the end, speakers corroborated with the views of the Vice President on making the process less cumbersome to get more children to be adopted. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is considering an automation system for cargo clearance. Executive Secretary of the Council, Hassan Bello, disclosed this during a meeting with a team from the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NACSIMA, led by its president, Alaba Lawson. Mohammed Abdulkadri tells us more.
The Nigerian Shippers Council and NACSIMA agreed on the need to change the payment system at the port. By so doing, they hope that the manual payment system, which they say takes an average of 6 days, will be achieved in 6 seconds.
The clearance procedure in Nigeria port is primitive, and so we have to simplify it. We have to make it transparent.
They must work together and all hands must be on deck to ensure that the port reforms work.
Both parties described the gridlock at Apapa as uncalled for, noting that over 5,000 articulated trucks queue up, whereas only about 1,500 are to be attended to. The Chief Executive Officer of the Council, Hassan Bello, had good news on a multi-dimensional strategy to address the situation.
The port reforms, that is the concessioning of the port, have also introduced some efficiency. We have seen improvement. Even the dwell time for cargo, you could see it has eased up. But for the failure of the Apapa infrastructure.
The council is collaborating with NACSIMA to key into the present administration's initiative to reconfigure the nation's ports to make it export compliance away from the import-dependent economy. From the Nigerian Shippers Council headquarters in Lagos, Muhammad Abdulkadri, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports ahead after this time out. Stay with us.
Fuel for your hustle by Google.
E no be like before again o. Now many more Nigerians dey suffer inside poverty. They no fit get better food, better house, better education and healthcare. Unlike 20 years ago. As e be so, now to dey encourage families to born the number of pikin wey dem fit take care of, so that dem go comot dem family and themselves from poverty and reduce economic hardship. Thank God for family planning or childbirth spacing. With am, plenty families go fit dey live better lives. As leader wey you be, The solution dey your hand, and wetin you need to do na to take action now. All we lawmakers and government people them must make sure say them put enough money down. We go make sure say childbirth spacing services, where plenty people they also call family planning services, go reach everybody. Our pastors, imam, and traditional leaders suppose open mouth to tell them people about the better thing. We family planning did. We must join hand and get it together. Make our future for bright. Now, Federal Ministry of Health, they bring on this message.
This festive season, there's no place like home. Get a GoTV decoder and GoTenna and 1 month of GoTV Max subscription for only 6,900 Naira. GoTV. Live it, love it.
I'm from Delta State Company. At that 2005, the company was privatized. Those that were working, that were caught up with the privatization, were laid off. No arrangement for the payment of anything. They were denied their pension rights. So in 2005 through 2017, we have been struggling how we can be put back on pension. We staged a lot of demonstrations under the rain, under the sun. The government did not listen. The marginalization for the past 13 good years by successive administration, the sufferings we'll be going through, the loss of human dignity and no hope for livelihood from July 31st, 2018. The monthly pensions start coming to the pensioners. We also want to be very, very thankful to President Muhammadu Buhari. He's God sent.
The National Council for Arts and Culture, Nigeria, cordially invites you to the 11th International Arts and Crafts Expo, Abuja, INAC 2018. Theme, Networking Nigerian Crafts to the World. Date, 17th to 24th November 2018. Venue, FCT Exhibition Pavilion, beside International Conference Center, Abuja. Time, 9 a.m. daily. Official opening ceremony, 19th November 2018. Time, 12 noon. Chairman, Alhaji Muhammad Musa Bello, Honorable Minister of the FCT, Special Guest of Honor, Sam Nga Isaiah, Publisher, Leadership Newspapers, Mother of the Day, Hajia Aisha Abubakar, Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Royal Father of the Day, His Royal Highness Alhaji Shehu Idris, Emir of Zazao, Chief Host Alhaji Lai Muhammad, Honorable Minister of Information, Culture and Tourism, Host and Announcer Otumba Olusegun Rushewe, Director General, National Council for Arts and Culture.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Welcome back. We now join Muplang Dakok for business news. Muplang, I hope there's some positive news for investors in Nigeria.
Yes, thank you very much, Jumai. There's positive news for investors on the stock market, but we begin from the signing of a new country program for Nigeria. Nigeria is set to sign a new country program worth $60 million with the United Nations Development Organization, UNIDO. The program is for inclusive and sustainable industrial development for the country and Africa from 2018 to 2022. This will be during the 2 days visit of UNIDO's Director General Lee Young from 19th of this month, he will hold bilateral meetings with Nigerian government officials to commemorate 2018 Africa Industrialization Day. Meanwhile, stakeholders in the manufacturing sector have commended the federal government's Ease of Doing Business initiative, which has made the sector the highest contributor to value-added tax in the country. They urge all players in the industry to employ suitable technology, management techniques, and efficient system of production to move the nation forward.
If we don't have a strong, robust, diversified manufacturing sector. To have that kind of sector, clearly you need a policy environment that encourages investment in the sector.
There are issues of legislation, there are issues of infrastructure, there's issue of financing, there's issue of research innovation, because without research work, you cannot even produce any product.
It was a green day at the Nigerian Stock Exchange as today's trading activity closed positive. The all-share index gained 0.61% as market capitalization rose to 11.7 trillion naira. Investors exchanged 164 million shares worth 2.7 billion naira. UBA, Transcorp, and Courtville were the toast of investors as they topped the activity chart in terms of volume. That's business news. It's over to you, Jumai, for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Moplang. I'm glad Nigerians are celebrating good investment this week. In line with President Muhammadu Buhari's administration's drive towards ensuring that the armed forces of Nigeria remain the pride of the nation, the federal government says it will continue to support the defense sector to function optimally. Chief of Defense Staff General Gabriel Olonishakin reiterated this at the closing ceremony of the 2018 Defense Advisors and Attaché Conference at the Defense Intelligence Agency. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports.
Just like the Army armor tank ready for frontline combat, the Air Force Alpha Jet for air interdiction missions, or NNS Centenary about to display its supremacy on the nation's waters, so have these defense advisors and attaché been refined for proficiency in defense diplomacy. As prime managers of defense attaché system, attainment of strategic defense-related alliances and engagements remains key in Nigeria's capacity to respond to current and anticipated threats.
The Defense Headquarters is reviewing the selection process of our defense advisors as well as the entire defense advisor system to make it more professional and more efficient. I assure you that the Ministry of Defense, Defense Headquarters, and the Defense Intelligence Agencies will continue to support you to ensure that the defense sections function optimally.
The counterterrorism success story in the Northeast and the Lake Chad Basin would be incomplete without recognizing the fusion of military, diplomacy, and interagency collaborations at all levels. On this note, I charge you all to continue to leverage opportunities in your respective countries of accreditation to intensify the provision of timely and objective intelligence in support of the armed forces and decision makers.
President Muhammadu Buhari was commended for providing the armed forces and other security apparatus with logistics to enhance their operational effectiveness. From the Defense Intelligence Agency in Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Thank you, Olajide. Sokoto is our next stop with Salamatu Umar Abdullahi. Hello, Salamatu. It's good to see you.
Jumai, good to see you too, and a warm welcome to the seat of the Caliphate. Religious leaders in the country have been called upon to always preach peace, unity, and harmonious working relations among Nigerians. President General Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs and Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, made the call when he received the regional pastor, Redeemed Christian Church of Nigeria in charge of Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara States, Pastor Ola Adejube, at his palace. Shehu Muhammad Dati tells us more.
The regional pastor was at the Sultan's palace to inform the Sultan of his posting
and solicit support and cooperation from the monarch. Sultan Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar, who underscored the importance of tolerance and understanding among Nigerians, tasked leaders to always preach peace. He pledged support and cooperation of the Sultanate Council in achieving lasting peace in Nigeria.
Without peace and stability, there can be any engineering work. So it's very important as you are doing your engineering work practically, try to also ensure there is peace from your homes to your communities to your states and of course in Nigeria.
The regional pastor, Redeemed Christian Church in charge of Sokoto, Kebbi and Zamfara states, Pastor Ola Adejube, appreciated the efforts of the Sultan in ensuring that peace prevails among Nigerians. Highlight of the visit was the presentation of some books to the regional pastor by the Sultan. In Sokoto, Sheo Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
Sokoto state government is to take a holistic approach to address challenges facing the health sector to meet the demands of contemporary time and health for all in the state. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Muhammad Ali Nnami, gave the assurance to some health facilities and parastatals under the ministry. Aminu Bello Kauji present the details.
Some of the health facilities inspected are Mariam Abacha Women and Children Hospital, Numa Hospital, Specialist Hospital, Sokoto, Primary Health Care Development Agency and Hospital Service Management Board. The aim of the familiarization visit is to assess challenges and the possible ways of addressing them. The Commissioner assured of taking a holistic approach towards ensuring health for all and making the sector more responsive.
Drug Quality Control Laboratory, which is a laboratory that will look at all drugs and medicine that are brought into the state to ensure that they are quality and prevent any use of wrong poisons that are brought into the state.
The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry and other chief executives of the parastatals and agencies under the ministry highlighted successes and challenges facing them and the health facilities, calling for government urgent intervention to remedy the situation. The Commissioner had earlier paid a courtesy call on the Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar, to seek for areas of collaboration with the Sultanate Council. In Sokoto, Amin Belaka Oji, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. We now take another commercial break, after which the news continues with Jimmy. Stay with us.
As the number of people with the bond they reduce, now so the money with them they get to spend they increase. Enough proof don't they to show say countries where them families they bond, the number of people with they fit take care of, they stress to take care of the children, no they plenty at all for the family. If families fit they enjoy this kind of benefit of expenses, we know they too much. You fit imagine how you go fit help boost country economy like Nigeria own. As leader where you be, the solution they your hand. And what you need to do now to take action now. All we lawmakers and everybody with their power and government must make sure say them put enough money down. We go make sure say childbirth spacing, where plenty people sabi as family planning services full everywhere. Our pastors, imam, and traditional leaders suppose open mouth tell them people about the better thing where child spacing they do. This work, now our handy day. We get the full responsibility to do them. We must join hand and get it together. Make our future for bright. Now Federal Ministry of Health, they bring you this message.
What's up?
His friends didn't come.
Hey, let's practice.
But you're going out.
Don't worry about me.
Nothing satisfies a mother more than seeing a child grow up. But I know as he sweats, he'll face the risk of germs which can cause skin irritation.
That's why you need the new best ever Dettol Cool. Its new advanced formulation with extra menthol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs and gives your family icy cool freshness.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
2019 elections are coming. Do not let yourselves be used by politicians. Do not allow your emotions go haywire. Do not be a tool to cause mayhem. No election matter is worth the destruction of lives and properties. Be wise. Don't be a violent Nigerian youth. Don't get involved in any act of violence. Your future is at stake. Shun violence during elections. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
To anyone who ever pushed me to go further.
Come on, one more.
To anyone who ever gave me a hand up. To anyone who ever taught me anything I ever learned. To those who work together to set the bar higher. To those who give me the energy to go further. This is my team, and my team makes me.
Welcome back. Up next is Sports Update with Tamara Ebue.
As the Super Eagles of Nigeria prepare to